Today is Friday, October 11, 2024. I'm here to share my thoughts and opinions on the US presidential elections 2024. Today, I would like to go over the Electoral College Tally. It has been 2 weeks since we looked at the Electoral College Tally as per the polls and as per the reports from several states. So I would like to look at the Electoral College where it stands as of today. Before going into that, I would like to reiterate that this race is getting to be very interesting in the sense that it has become very, very close in all the battleground states. And I think Donald Trump has done very well in the last 2 weeks, and he has caught up with Kamala Harris in pretty much all the battleground states. Now it looks like most of the battleground states are a virtual tie, and either one of them can win. So this is going to be a very, very, very close race all the way to the end. For some point of time, people thought that Kamala Harris is going to win at least the Rust Belt states and either one of Georgia or North Carolina, so that she'll have a good electoral college victory. But it doesn't look like that at this juncture. Um, she did not get enough good publicity in the last 2 to 3 weeks, and coupled with the fact that Tim Walz did not do very well in the vice presidential debate with J.D. Vance, this is really that has really given Donald Trump an opening, and he has seized that opening, and he is right now doing very well in all the battleground states. So let's go deep into the actual state details in terms of where we stand on each one of those battleground states from a map perspective first, and then we look at the numerical representation of the map afterwards. So let's go to the. So let's look at the map here. By now, you guys are familiar with this. The blue color coding is done for the states that Democrats are going to win, and the red ones are for the Republican states. So if you look at the battleground states, Nevada, I've given it to Kamala Harris, even though there is one poll that has come out today from Wall Street Journal that says that Donald Trump is winning that state of Nevada by around 6 points. But that was the only poll that has Donald Trump ahead. So I would like to wait and see whether that's an outlier or whether it's something that we need to look at in the next 3-4 days. So for the time being, I've given Nevada to Kamala Harris. Similarly, I've given Arizona to Donald Trump because I think this is a state where he is pretty strong because of the border issue, and I feel like at the end of the day that Donald Trump is going to win the state of Arizona. But apart from those two, you look at it, the other four, Georgia, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin, they're all a tie. There are some who say that in Pennsylvania, Kamala Harris is slightly ahead. But even if she's ahead, she's within the margin of error. She's not comfortably ahead. And then you look at the state of Michigan. Initially, I thought Kamala Harris is going to win the state rather easily. This was like 2-3 weeks ago. She did much better than Biden in all the demographics, and it looked like she was going to win the state of Michigan. But things have changed quite a lot because of the turmoil in the Middle East. I think that gave an opening, and Donald Trump is working very hard to get the Arab American votes there. That is going to be a very critical voting block, and it depends on how they are going to vote, and that will decide the election there. Last time, Joe Biden won the state by around 150,000 odd votes, but this time I don't think that either one of them is going to win by that kind of margin. It's going to be close to 30 to 45,000 or 50,000 kind of a margin for either one of those candidates in Michigan. That's how it looks as of now. Then you go into Wisconsin. Wisconsin has always been a very close race. Last two elections, the first one in 2016, Trump won by around 20,000 odd votes. In 2020, Biden won by only around 20,000 odd votes. So that's looking like another nail biter. It's going to be like another 20,000 odd votes or maybe 40,000 odd votes kind of a margin. So as of now, it's still very, very tight, and none of them have taken, either one of them has not taken a sizable lead there. Then you look at Georgia and North Carolina. For when Kamala Harris became the nominee of the Democratic Party, there was a widespread talk among the Democratic circles that Georgia will definitely go to Kamala Harris, but that has changed on the ground now. Republicans are pretty confident that they are in a very good position to win that state. And again, even though Donald Trump has not taken a sizable lead in the state of Georgia, he has come back and he's within a striking distance of overtaking Kamala Harris there. Again, it's still too tight an election there in terms of polling, and also if you talk to the people on the ground, they say that it's very, very close in Georgia. Then if you look at North Carolina, this is a state I always thought that Kamala Harris did not have much of a chance because of the record. You know, for presidential elections, North Carolina tend to vote for Republicans. But because of this unpopular Republican candidate for governor in the state of North Carolina, I think there is a possibility that this could get very interesting. But still, as of now, Kamala Harris has not taken a clear lead, and Donald Trump has also not taken a clear lead. So if you look at all of this, it looks like North Carolina is also a virtual tie at this juncture. So if you look at from 7 battleground states, you have 5 states that are too close to call, and one state of Nevada most likely going to Kamala Harris at this juncture based on polling, even though, as I said, that there is one poll that suggests that Trump is winning there. And in the state of Arizona, I don't think anyone has any kind of ambiguity there. Trump is doing very well there, and he's most likely to carry Arizona based on the polling that is done there so far. So what does that do for the numerical count in the Electoral College? For that, let's go to the next slide. So there we go. If you look at Republican states, they have 24 states that they normally win. They get 218 Electoral College votes. Now you add Arizona and the main second district to Donald Trump, they get to 230. Then if you look at the traditional Democratic states that the Democrats are supposed to win these states, there are 20 of them, and that amounts to around 225 Electoral College votes. You add Nevada 6 Electoral College votes and Nebraska second district that Kamala Harris is very likely to win. You add the 7 Electoral College votes from there, then Kamala Harris will be at 232. So look at how close this is. You can't get closer than this. Kamala Harris is at 232, Donald Trump is at 230. So that leaves us with all the states where the polling suggests it's a virtual tie right now. Georgia with 16 Electoral College votes, North Carolina, another 16 Electoral College votes, Michigan with 15, Pennsylvania with 19, and Wisconsin with 10 Electoral College votes. That amounts to a total of around 76 Electoral College votes that are up for grabs. It's too tight an election in all those 5 battleground states. And let's look at what does Donald Trump need to get to 270? He needs 40 more Electoral College votes to get to 270. How can he get there? He can get there by winning Georgia and North Carolina. That gives him 32. Then if he just wins one of the 3, Wisconsin or Michigan or Pennsylvania, he will be President Trump again. So his key states are going to be Georgia and North Carolina. He's also working very hard in Pennsylvania. If he wins Pennsylvania, then even if he wins Georgia, he'll be only at 35. He needs another 5 more Electoral College votes. So then he needs to pick up either Wisconsin or Michigan or North Carolina. So he has multiple paths to win the presidency or to get to 270. But his easiest path, I think, would be winning Pennsylvania and North Carolina and Georgia. Those are traditional Republican states. If he can just win one of those blue wall states and he wins the traditional Republican states, he will be president. He can win Wisconsin and Georgia and North Carolina, or Michigan and Georgia and North Carolina. or Pennsylvania and Georgia and North Carolina, then you will be President Trump again. Let's look at it from the Kamala Harris campaign perspective. They are at 232, they would need 38. How can they get to 38? So if she wins Pennsylvania, then she can win Georgia. She will be at 35. She still needs one more state. She can win Wisconsin, or she can win Michigan. So if she wins Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Georgia, or North Carolina, she will be President Harris. Or if she wins Georgia and North Carolina and just Wisconsin, she will be President Harris. She also has multiple paths to win the presidency, but the most likely path, I have been mentioning this several times, is Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin, the traditional blue wall states, the traditional Rust Belt states that Democrats have won multiple times, except during 2016 when Donald Trump beat Hillary Clinton in all these three states. So they are traditionally favored to win these Rust Belt states. So it's very tight right now, but they have the ability to put together a coalition of suburban voters and big cities like like Philadelphia, Detroit, and Milwaukee helping them, and the suburbs helping them to push them over the top. Again, it's going to be a very, very tight election across the board on all these 5 states. But Georgia and North Carolina, I always tend to think that Republicans have a slight edge there, and everything has to go very well for Kamala Harris to win Georgia and North Carolina. Again, the one caveat is nobody knows exactly how many new voters have come in the Research Triangle Park area in North Carolina and also on the suburbs of Atlanta and other areas in Georgia. So that might also help Kamala Harris. But for every additional vote that Kamala Harris might get on the suburbs or on the cities, you have to assume that Trump is going to outperform his 2020 numbers in the rural areas of Georgia and rural areas of North Carolina. So do not underestimate Donald Trump. He has an ability to bring his base to the polls, especially on election day. So, so this is going to be a very tight election across the board. And it looks like that we are going to have a very, very close finish. And that's how at least it looks like at this point of time. Let's see how things change. There is still a possibility that there will be another 1 or 2 directional change in terms of the momentum. Right now, it looks like Donald Trump is doing pretty well. He's doing exactly what he needs to do to win the election. And Kamala Harris is slightly on the back foot. Let's see how she comes back. One of the strategies that they have trying to employ is they did ask Barack Obama to campaign in the Pittsburgh area yesterday, and I just heard news that Bill Clinton is going to travel to Georgia and possibly North Carolina as well. They're trying to let Bill Clinton campaign in the rural areas and also talk about the economic issues and whatnot. So it looks like Democrats also see and sense the danger that they might lose this election, and they have asked their the most popular Democratic presidents to campaign for them. And in terms of the Republican strategy, it looks like they're going to let Trump be Trump, and they want him to say whatever he wants to say on the campaign. They feel like by just restraining Trump, you're not going to get too much of an advantage in terms of electoral vote tally. So they are just going to make Trump be himself and campaign the way that he has been campaigning for almost 7.5 years right now. So that's the state of the Electoral College in terms of the map as well as the numerical Electoral College tally. So let's see how things pan out. We still have only around 25 days before the election, but early voting has started in most of the states, and people have started voting. In fact, in Pennsylvania, it looks like quite a few registered voters who are Democrats. So Democratic registered voters have come out and voted there already. And in-person voting has also started in some of the states. So let's see how things pan out. We will come back and do another program about this Electoral College Tally in the next week or 10 days. At that point of time, let's see if the Electoral College Tally has increased for either one of those candidates, or we are still looking at some kind of a tied race in those battleground states. So before I go, I just wanted to again reiterate that please go ahead and vote and do your civic duty. If you are doing mail-in ballots, make sure that you sign and also fill in the signature date so that your votes will be counted. It's very important that you guys go ahead and participate in the electoral process, and it doesn't matter whom you vote for. You just need to make sure that you participate in it and show that you are serious about who you would like to vote for, in the sense of who you would want to be running the country for the next 4 years. That's very, very important. That's it for me today. I'll come back with a different program tomorrow. Till then, take care.